Hey, Kingdom Kids, it is so good to be here with you this week. We have missed your faces. Mr. Jamie and I have been missing you. We're so glad to be here with you this Sunday.
I've forgotten what all of you look like at this point.
I know.
Yep.
He has a bad memory, guys.
It is true.
Yes, but we are here with you now. We're excited to pick back up with Moses and his story, and we have questions for you guys. We want you to interact, talk with us. We're so happy to be here. We need to do a little review, though, for the kids that maybe weren't here last week. I mean, there was...
Last week, Moses was here.
I know.
Moses was here last week, and we missed it.
I know. I can't even believe it. Like, was it amazing to see Moses? What do you guys think? Those of you who saw him, was it cool? Yeah, super cool.
Nice.
So maybe we'll have him back again, but
That
for
would be
us,
pretty cool.
We're here today.
Yes, indeed.
And we're going to do a little review with you. So Moses is traveling with the children of Israel out of Egypt into the promised land, and it is going to be a long journey. And there's some issues. They escape, they get out, God gets them out of there, they're free, and they come across the Red Sea, and there's a problem.
The problem at the Red Sea is all the Israelites only know how to doggy paddle.
No, that's not the problem. Does
Okay,
anyone
all right.
know what the problem is at the Red Sea?
Do you guys know what the problem is? Anybody?
What do you think? Oh, you know what? She's going even back farther.
I know, that was pretty
When
impressive.
Moses helps the water taste good, when God gives him the power
Yep.
and throws the stick in the water, that is one of Moses' stories. You're right.
true.
But they get to the Red Sea, and what's the problem? You forgot.
The problem is they forgot how to cross the Red Sea.
Well,
There you
the
go.
problem is they have to get across the Red Sea,
There you
and
go.
there's water in the way, right? And they didn't bring their floaties.
No floaties.
And they don't
They
know how
could
to
only
dog
dog
paddle.
paddle.
Right.
No
So
kayaks.
Moses takes his staff, and he sets it out, and the water parts. And the children of Israel get to walk across on dry land, which is
That's
amazing.
pretty impressive.
Yes. So they're traveling now, and they get hungry, and they get thirsty. And we see over and over again how God provides for them. He actually brings down food from heaven called, does anyone remember what it's called?
Cornflakes.
Manna. We have manna, not
Okay.
cornflakes. Maybe it tasted like cornflakes.
I bet it tasted
So
like
there was
cornflakes.
a honey flavor to it. Maybe you guys have a favorite cereal that could have tasted like that, maybe. And he brings down quail, which is a type of bird for the people to eat. So it's just, there's so many great stories.
Chicken wings and cornflakes.
Right. I mean, that's like a breakfast of champions,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah. So they have their food, and they still complain a lot, though.
Okay, so this sounds a lot like a car trip. You've got people that are hungry, people that are tired, people that are complaining a lot. I mean,
Yes.
that is a car trip. Like, has anybody here car trip? Isn't that what happens?
Yes.
Exactly.
For
Okay,
sure.
so the Israelites are on a long car trip.
Long car trip.
Okay.
And they complain a lot. They complain about being hungry and thirsty, and we complain all the time, unfortunately, right? Do you guys ever complain when you have to do chores?
Nope, never.
Yes. Do you ever complain when, like, your plans get changed and, like, things don't go the way you want them to? Yes. Yes. Big yes on that one.
Yep.
Or maybe we complain when dinner isn't what we were hoping it was going to be. Does that ever happen? And you're kind of like, ugh, right? Does that happen, right? So the Israelites, they needed some guidance in learning to have a good attitude, right? And so maybe if they'd had a game or something to help them, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of something you were telling me about, Mr. Jamie.
Oh, yeah. So a good car game that we do in our car sometimes is we'll do rock, paper, scissors tournaments. And you guys have probably played it at home, but for those of you who haven't,
You ready?
I'll catch everybody up on the rules. Yep, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, and then when you say shoot, you do one of three things. You either do rock, which, I have a really cool rock visual aid. Okay, hold that for me if you
All
would.
right,
Thank
got
you.
a rock.
Awesome. Okay, paper. Obviously, everybody knows what paper looks like. Okay, and scissors. Here, hold these for me. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Scissors. All right, now when you play rock, paper, scissors, one always beats the other. So if we do, let's do our
How
pretend.
about
Ready?
everybody at home? Get
Ready?
your fist
Okay, all
out.
right, yep.
You ready? Rock,
Rock,
paper,
paper,
scissors,
scissors,
shoot.
Why
Oh,
do
we got a lot of
we always tie? It's
scissors. What did you
creepy.
guys get? Did you compete with your mom and dad? Did you beat them? Hopefully you did, right?
All right, keep track. See if you can get the best 2 out of 3. That's how it's traditionally
Ready?
played. Okay, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ooh. You ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, he got me.
I win.
Yeah.
Yes, because if you have scissors and you were to, no, I want the
Oh,
rock.
the rock.
Yeah. This doesn't work well, does it?
No.
In fact, this breaks the scissors. I think I've ruined these now,
Don't do that,
unfortunately.
don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
okay.
need those.
But if I have scissors versus paper, you could really kind of messes up the paper. But there is another version of the game that the Israelites played.
The Israelites played rock, paper, scissors?
Kind of. Moses did. He did rock, paper, scissors, water. No, remember? Because
Really?
you were telling me the story. You told me the story about how...
All right. Well, I do have my Bible here.
Okay.
It has some really great pictures in this version. And I would love for you guys this week to read this story with your families. It comes from the book of Exodus, Exodus 17, 1 through 7. So I'm going to read it to you, okay? So here again, the cloud. Do you guys remember that they are being led by a cloud through the wilderness? Do you guys remember that? That is one of my favorite parts. We kind of like skipped right over that. But they are being led through the wilderness with a cloud by day and fire by night.
Okay, I get it. So every so often the fire would be like, in 400 yards, turn right.
No, it just goes. And they
just
have to
goes?
follow it, which is amazing because they didn't have phones back then. They didn't have a GPS. They had to just follow the cloud and the fire wherever it went. So at this point in our story with Moses, children of Israel, they have stopped because the cloud has stopped, right?
Okay.
Following the cloud. All right. So they made camp and rested from their journey, but the people began to complain at once. Let me see your like grumpy faces. You're complaining, right? Again. Complaining again. Oh, wow, you guys are good. You're good. I'm
It's
impressed.
like you practice that
I
all the
know,
time.
I know.
You guys don't, nobody practices complaining at home, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although God was setting them bread every day, now he had them led to a place where there was no water. How thirsty they were. Oh, so parched, guys. Instead of asking God to help them, the people complained to Moses, "Did you bring us out of Egypt to die of thirst?" Moses asked God, "What shall I do for my people? They are so angry, they're ready to kill me." The Lord answered, "Take the elders of Israel and go to Mount Horeb. Then you will strike the rock." Where's your rock?
Oh, rock.
So there was a rock, and he carried that staff everywhere, right? And he took the staff, and he hit the rock. It was probably a lot bigger rock, right? Like a mammoth rock.
Don't insult my
A
rock.
really big rock, okay? And when you strike the rock with the rod, water will come out of it. So, like, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it cracked open? Do you think it, like, seeped out? Do you think it was like a fire hydrant? What do you guys think? Waterfall, like it just shot out. It's kind of cool to think about what it looks like. What do you think? Fire? You think fire was involved? That could be cool. Yeah.
I feel like all miracles should just fundamentally
Fires
involve
are
fire.
cool.
That
Crack?
would be that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all for that.
So Moses did as the Lord commanded. That's an important part. Moses
absolutely
listened
is.
to the Lord. With the elders, he went to Mount Horeb. There were no springs or rivers in sight. But when Moses struck the rock, a stream of clear water flowed out. Down the mountainside and into the valley, the water ran. All the people hurried to drink. Now, if you were there, do you think you would have run really, really fast to the water? Like, can you imagine that? That would be amazing.
That would be pretty cool.
Yes. So we thought normally at the end of our story time, when you're in the castle or when you're in Kingdom Kids, we do a craft with you. And we love for you to do that so you have something to take home and remember the story by and kind of stick it in your memory. Well, since we can't transport to you craft supplies right now, we thought you could use some things you have at your house to create something that has to do with our story. So I asked some of my kids ahead of time to make us some things that would remind them of the story of Moses getting water from the rock. Okay? So the first one we have here is a Lego creation. How many
Gotta
of you
love
guys have
Legos.
Legos at your house, right? Everybody has Legos, right? And if you can see here, we have Moses, we have a staff. Do you see the water shooting out of it? I bet you guys could totally make something like that. All right, and then the cool part is you can take a picture of it, have your mom and dad snap a picture, and then they can use the hashtag BC at home and send it in, and we'll talk about it next week and maybe show everybody how awesome your creations are.
Nice.
Which
I would love to see
yes.
some of those.
Let's see what else we have in here. This one is made out of clay. So if you have Play-Doh or a clay of some sort,
Or mashed potatoes?
probably not mashed potatoes.
Probably not.
There's some water you can see coming out of this one. You can see Moses and his staff, which is super cool. And then this one really is creative. We have a tinfoil Moses. Everybody has tinfoil, right? So this one, just use your fingers, bend it around, and then we even have a little bit of water coming out of it on the side, okay? So we would love to see your pictures this week. Don't forget to read in Exodus 17 all about the miracle that God did for the people of Israel.
You could even act it out if you don't have art supplies.
You could. And remember this week to have a good attitude. When you're tempted to grumble and complain and to feel like things aren't going your way, put a good attitude on, knowing that that is going to be pleasing to God. The Bible tells us to do everything without complaining and arguing.
All right, guys, this has been a blast. We will see you back here next week.
All right.
Take
Bye,
care.
guys.